Why would the United States risk tension with its own allies over a frozen island with fewer people than a small city? Why does Greenland suddenly sit at the center of a dispute inside the Western alliance itself? And why does this make NATO uneasy? There is no war over Greenland, but there is a growing strategic conflict. The United States, under Donald Trump's political influence, has openly treated Greenland not as an ally's territory, but as a strategic asset. Denmark, Greenland's sovereign authority, has pushed back. So have several European allies. What looks symbolic on the surface reveals a much deeper fracture inside the West. Greenland matters because of location. It sits between North America and Europe, at the gateway of the Arctic. This is where future military, trade, and surveillance routes converge. The United States already has a military presence there. Early warning systems, missile detection, strategic reach. From Washington's perspective, full control removes uncertainty. Then there is energy and resources. As Arctic ice recedes, access changes. Rare earth minerals, potential hydrocarbons, new shipping lanes. Control here is not about today's economy. It is about future leverage. Trump's approach strips away diplomatic language. He treats Greenland less as a partner's territory and more as a strategic extension of U.S. power. That blunt logic resonates with part of the American electorate, but it alarms allies. For Denmark, Greenland is not symbolic. It is central to sovereignty, law, and credibility. If pressure works here, it weakens Denmark's standing everywhere. For NATO, the issue is even bigger. The alliance is built on balance, consent, and internal trust. When the strongest member acts unilaterally, that balance breaks. NATO does not fear Greenland itself. It fears precedent. If U.S. power overrides Allied sovereignty, then NATO becomes a hierarchy, not an alliance. That changes everything. This conflict ripples outward. First, inside Europe. It deepens skepticism toward U.S. leadership and strengthens calls for strategic autonomy. Europe starts asking uncomfortable questions. Second, toward Russia. Moscow watches closely. Any division inside NATO creates room to maneuver in the Arctic, not through confrontation, but through influence and positioning. Third, globally. This signals how power is exercised in a world moving away from clear rules. If allies feel vulnerable, others feel exposed. Greenland is not the prize. Control is. This is about who shapes future trade routes, who monitors the Arctic, and who defines security norms in a changing world. It also exposes a deeper contradiction. The United States wants loyalty from allies while asserting dominance over them. That tension is no longer hidden. One scenario is quiet de-escalation. Strategic cooperation continues, but rhetoric softens and formal sovereignty is respected. This preserves NATO unity, but leaves unresolved mistrust. Another scenario is managed friction. The U.S. expands its footprint indirectly. Europe resists politically, not militarily. The alliance holds, but cohesion weakens over time. The most dangerous scenario is normalization of pressure. If unilateral behavior becomes routine, NATO shifts from partnership to compliance. That opens doors for external powers to exploit internal fractures. In the U.S., this issue splits views. Some see strength and strategic realism. Others see overreach, unnecessary tension, and damage to long-term alliances. Greenland becomes a proxy debate about what kind of power the U.S. should be. This is not a fight over land. It is a test of how power operates inside alliances under stress. If the greatest threat to Western balance comes from within, can an alliance survive without redefining its limits? If you want context beyond headlines, subscribe. This is context of power.